Sit up nice and tall through the spine. Take a moment to close your eyes. Welcome ourselves to practice today through the breath. Take care to notice what parts of the body need a little more loving attention and care, what feels too tight, too loose, a little creaky. And just by giving that awareness, it helps to ensure the safety, the longevity of our practice. And we'll take this into easy opening movement, chin down to the chest, and then just rock side to side, right ear towards the right shoulder, left ear towards the left shoulder, a little back and forth. Keep right ear over towards the right side. Walk the left hand out, fingertips to the ground or just above. And take the right hand on top of the head, closer to that left ear. Give it the little tug out to the side. We'll walk the hands back, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder. Second side, reverse everything. So walk the right hand out, left hand on top of the right ear. Then bring the hands back to the thighs, chin back to the chest. Next inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky, open the eyes, look up. Take a twist, fingertips on each side of the body as you look over. And then inhale, lift the arms back up. Twist to your second side, arms go to the second direction, look over the second shoulder. One more time, back up to the sky. And then fold over. Change to child's pose. In child's pose, knees a bit apart, big toes together. Reach your arms out long in front. Walk both hands over towards the right side. Get into our side stretch here from left fingertips. Pull back towards the left hip. Walk the hands across the center, on over to the second side. And just like before, reach out to the right fingertips and pull back on the right hip. Bring it back into the center, come up to all fours, have the hands under the shoulders, knees under our hips. And we'll move in cat and cow here. And I mentioned as we open to really take kindness and awareness to pieces of the body that need a little bit more attention today. But then taking from that, I want us to create really big poses today. Our peak pose that we'll work with is wild thing pose in Sanskrit. It's usually called Kathamakrasana. And I think once we have those awarenesses of where we need to hold, where we need to breathe, we can really enjoy the expansion of the practice. Okay, downward facing dog. So extend the arms a little more forward, tuck the toes and lift the hips. And here in down dog, pedal out the feet. Shake the head a little bit yes, a little bit no. And then you'll keep the hands as is, but like the legs are trying to do side plank, just send both heels to one side and then back into the air, and then both heels over to the other side. A good stretch from the waist all the way through outer hip. You can do this a couple of times, side to side. And then full dog. And walk your hands backwards to the feet. So bend the knees enough that you can do that. From the back of the mat, hang over. Ragdoll pose, hold on to the elbows. Sway some. Feel heavy in the upper body. And then slowly roll it on up to standing. Shoulders up and back a couple of times. And shoulders forward and down. Okay, walk up to the front end of the yoga mat. Stand in your mountain pose here, whether you like feet a little wider for a more expansive view of mountain pose, or together, find your way. Inhale, lift the arms up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, touch down to the ground. Inhale, half lift, and step back to plank. Lower flat down to the mat. Peel the chest up in cobra. Change to downward facing dog. Stay here for 3 rounds of breath. And then look to the hands. Step or jump to the front end of your yoga mat. Half lift. Forward fold. Inhale, reach up, arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. A couple more times like this. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back and lower down. Use toes or knees each time as you lower to the mat. Cobra, peel the chest up. Downward facing dog, lift the hips up and back. Okay, next breath, look into the hands. Step or jump to the front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up, arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. One more time. Inhale, lift the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Step back to plank. Keep going. Lower down to your yoga mat. Lift the chest for cobra. Change to downward facing dog. Look to the hands. Again, move forward, a step, a jump, or a walk. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Okay, right off the bat here, I want us to take a nice wide stance. Use the long side of your mat. Extend the arms out. We'll call this one star pose. So just trying to be as big as possible. Fully straighten the arms, fully straighten the legs. Good. And then hinge forward, touch down to the ground. You can always bend the knees to make that more accessible, or place the hands under blocks. If the hands reach the floor with straight legs, keep it that way. And then can you change? Hands behind the back, interlace. Try to squeeze the elbows in and then straighten the arms up towards the sky. Imagine lifting the head of the shoulder up rather than letting it fall down. And release the hands back down to the mat. Lengthen the spine, so like a half lift, but with the feet wide here. Okay, we're going to walk the hands towards the right leg and just bend the right knee. Keep the left leg straight. As you do that, keep pressing down through the foot so that you feel a good stretch through the inner thigh. Your butt can stay high. It doesn't need to go low here. And then second side, so straighten. Walk the hands over to the second side. Bend the left knee. And if you're not finding any stretch through the groin, then walk the extended leg out just a little bit further. And then bring it back into the center. Again, still with the extended spine. Hand underneath the shoulder. Take the right hand out to the side. Do bend the knees a little bit to try to keep the hips square. And then add a twist. Twist in the torso. Lift the right hand up. And lower the right hand down. Second side, so left hand extends straight out. Again, if you're having a bend through both knees, nice even bend, I think it's easier that way to keep the hips square and to make this twist come through the spine rather than the hips getting to take the work of it. And then both hands can come back down. Change hands to the waist, press through your feet, and come all the way back upright. Take a step back to the front end of the mat. Standing crescent, lift the arms up to the sky. Cross at the thumbs, try to have the arms as straight as possible and behind your ears. Keeping that, lean to one side. Push your hips away from the direction of the hands. Keep leaning shoulders back, head back. Inhale and come to the center. And this happens to the second side, up and over. Inhale and come back to your middle. Exhale, forward fold, touch back down. Keep the right foot forward, step your left foot back so you're in your low lunge. We know this one well. Add the twist, right hand up. Good. Try to stay pretty light on that left hand, the bottom arm. So again, the movement of the twist really gets into the spine. It's not trapped low. And then both hands to the inside of the foot. Down dog lunge. Spin the back heel down and walk the hands out. And I'm trying to move the right knee away towards the pinky toe so that kind of clear and create space for the right shoulder to come to the inside of the thigh. Do push through your back foot though, and try to still square the hips more back in space so they're not sticking out, but try to pull back towards the short side of your mat behind you. Okay, we walk the hands back in, pick up the back heel, good old regular low lunge, and step back to plank. Here in plank, do a push-up, whether it's on your toes or from the knees, just one push-up, down, up, and then downward facing dog. Stay with me here. I'm going to switch legs, but don't worry, I'm going to keep track of where we are. So lift the left leg up into the air, three-legged dog. This is going to get a little tricky. Can you lift the left leg and come to the toes of the right foot? So lift your right heel up into the air. Like you're going to side plank, go to the outer edge of the right foot and lift the left arm up to the sky. So it's the star pose and side plank. Woo! Balance getting a little bit crazy. And then downward facing dog. Both feet come back down to the mat. Look to your hands and step or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Okay, we start with the crescent pose again. Lift the arms up. This time, take your right hand, hold on to your left upper arm bone. Lean your head back into your forearm and then reach to the side. Inhale, come back to the center, switch arms. Second side, again, you're trying to push your head back into the left forearm now. Reach up and over to the side. Working through our length on the side of the torso. Come back upright. Both arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Okay, now left foot forward. Step the right foot back. This should be your second side for that low lunge. And we take it into the twist. Left arm up. Again, I'm trying to stay pretty light on the bottom hand, not giving it a lot of weight, so that I have more ability to find movement in the torso here. Down dog lunge, bring the hand to the inside of the foot, spin the back heel down, walk the hands out towards the right corner. Again, the tricky play of broadening out the front knee wide enough that the shoulders, upper body can kind of sink down towards the line of the torso. That tends to place a lot of emphasis in the weight of the front leg, but do try to push back into the right foot. And then walk the hands in, plank pose. It's either a hold of plank or adding in the push-up. Downward facing dog. Okay, so now it's the right leg that lifts up into the air, three-legged dog. And with the right leg lifted, trying to go into side plank. So if I lift the left heel up and then come to the outer edge of the left foot, slowly, slowly, slowly take the right hand up to the sky. So there's boundaries, and yet it's this really big, expansive pose. Take care of yourself, breathe through it. And then it goes back to downward facing dog. Look to your hands and step or jump to the front end of your yoga mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand and reach the arms to the sky. Take a couple of breaths. Notice how you're doing. Okay, we go back to the long edge of the mat. Again, a wide stance. Good old triangle pose. Turn the right foot out, reach the right hand out, and then shift, hips to the left, reach as far as you can to the right. And from there, right hand just goes down, whether that finds your leg, a block, or the floor is up to you. And swing the left arm to the sky. Try to keep one plumb line from the top fingers all the way down to the bottom fingers. So not angling forward or back, woo, but right into the center. I'm exaggerating that forward and back and fell over. That's what happens. Okay, come all the way back upright. And switch to the second side. Turn the left toes out, right toes straight ahead. Again, hinge, reach as far as you can to the left as you push your hips to the right. And then that's your line. You just drop the left arm down. It doesn't have to reach any further. Mine goes to my shin. And right arm straight up. Should be a pretty similar torso rotation that we find from our good old low lunge. Legs are just different. Okay, lift all the way back up to standing. Turn the feet parallel for a moment. And then go back to the first side. Turn the right toes out again. Bend the right knee. Don't worry about the hands yet. Come in and out of that bend a couple of times until you're ready to stay. About inner thigh to inner knee in one straight line. Trying to sit pretty low towards a 90-degree angle from hip to knee and knee down to the inner heel. Okay, like we did in triangle pose, reach the right arm out, look out over the right fingertips, and do that same hinge, reach as far as you can. Now from there, can you set the right hand down to the inside edge of the foot? My palm reaches down. It might be palm for you on the floor, under a block. Or a lot of folks can go to ridge tops, fingertips here, and make it work. Press your upper arm bone into your inner thigh. Push everything back. Okay, and then it's that same torso rotation as we did just before in triangle pose. Open, lift the left arm to the sky. And then palm all the way overhead. So you're in your very lowest form of extended side angle pose. We need all of this torso rotation and length through the sides of the torso today. Big, big poses. Walk the left hand back. Look down. Push through your back foot and come back upright, right hand like warrior two. Straighten the right leg and turn your feet. So poses we know, instructing them just slightly differently to get into the expansiveness of it today. So bend and straighten a couple of times through the left leg. And then you're going to stay in a more bent knee position towards that 90-degree angle, firm in the abdomen. And look at your left knee. Is it broad enough that it's pretty easy to see your big toe? Reach the left hand out, like a bow and arrow, pulling back almost. Okay, and then think more like triangle pose now. Hinge and reach. And lower the left hand to the inside of the foot. Can you go flat hand under floor or block? Be on the fingertips if that provides you the extra space needed. Lift the right arm up to the sky. As you do that, turn from your hips across the belly, into the chest, the shoulders, even the eyes. Look up. Good, good, good. Turn the palm towards the front short side of the mat and then reach over. It's that same reach that we do from the standing crescent work. Just more compressed in here. Awesome. Come all the way back up. Straighten the left leg. Turn the toes parallel to one another. And then just heel toe it. Easy in. Shake it out. Come back to the front of the mat. We're going to half moon pose here. If you know you like a block and have it handy for half moon, put it up by your toes and then lift both arms to the sky. Exhale, fold. And it's right from here. Bend both knees. Place the right hand about a foot out, a little bit out to the side. Left hand to your waist. Point the left toes back behind you and lift the foot, lift the leg. I did this, earlier this week. They all blend to me. Flex the foot, point the toes down. And we're focusing on the bottom leg to get into the open hip rotation of half moon. Can you straighten the right leg? And as that happens, externally rotate so that it takes the left hip more up towards the sky. If your left hand is at your hip, when you turn, your left elbow should also go more up towards the sky. Sometimes it's easier to feel with those, looking at the bigger joints. And then left hand straight up. The appendages further away. And then this all comes back in, left hand to the hip. If you bend the right knee more and flex the toes so that they'll point down to the floor, the elbow should also point to the side. And step both feet back down. Stay in a bent knee position, and then it's the left hand that's about a foot in front of the foot and a bit out to the side. Right hand to the waist with the elbow pointed out. Tap the right toes back. Lift the right leg up towards the line of your butt. Flex the right foot, point the toes down to the floor. And not because you're changing the top leg, but because you're changing the standing bottom leg. Straighten the leg more, and as you do that, open and stretch through the groin, which will lift that right hip more towards the sky. Toes point towards the long edge, right elbow towards the sky. And then you can take the hand and extend straight up as well. So really thinking of those pieces of how half moon pose gets to be for us, I think is also super helpful. Come on down, and thinking of the pieces and where we have to rotate and turn from as we get into wild thing in a moment. Okay, both hands back to the waist and come all the way to stand up. standing sage, so this is another balance pose. Lift the right knee up into the chest. I'm going to try to mirror you guys again. So right knee up and into the chest. And take the first 2 fingers and thumb of that right hand. Try to hold on to your big toe. Even if this crunches the whole upper body over for a moment, focus on your standing leg. Can you lift up on your kneecap and tone your quad a little bit more? And through the strength of that standing leg, lift the head more up towards the sky, come out of the crunch. And then this lifted leg only goes as straight as the standing leg can stay as engaged. Straight out to the front, and then take it out towards the side. Release all the way down. Not wrong to compensate with a bend in the standing leg. It's just not how we're trying to work this pose today. First 2 fingers and thumb around your left toes now as you pull the knee up into the chest. Again, at first, look down. It gets straighter and stronger on the standing leg. And see if that can help you then look straight ahead, shoulders back, ears over the line of the shoulders. And then you just do as much as works on straightening the lifted leg out to the front and then out to the side. Yeah, really nicely done. Lower the foot down. Front of the mat, lift the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Downward facing dog, step it on back. Okay, in down dog, look forward at your hands. Wave with your right hand and then place it where the left hand is. So the whole pose just kind of shifts a little bit to the side. My left hand is off of my yoga mat here. And I'm going to do side plank. Right hand, outer edge of the right foot on that left edge of my yoga mat. Try the same. Side plank on that left edge of your yoga mat. And then walk over to the other side. Replace left hand over towards the right side. Outer edge of the left foot, stack the feet, and lift the right arm up. Okay, like strength and conditioning work here. You're gonna do it one more time, side to side. So just kind of walk over. Right hand, outer edge of the right foot. And getting used to using the boundary of the yoga mat so you have that awareness, even as we try to create bigger poses. Left hand, outer edge of the left foot, right arm up. Yogis, can you do it one more time? Walk over, right hand to the outer edge and outer edge of the right foot to the left side of the mat, left arm up. And now step the left foot behind you so that your feet are now using the width of your mat. Okay, bend both knees, butt towards your heels. And then straighten, bend both knees, straighten the right leg, bend both knees, butt towards your heels, and straighten. Come down to your knees and just give it a break for a moment. Watch me real quick because I think I had us turned mostly to the back in case that wasn't making sense, and then we'll do the second side together. So your second side, you're on one edge of the mat, you tape the top foot, you step back, and I'm gonna look down towards my feet, bend the knees, almost like a funky little squat, butt towards the heels, And straighten the left leg. Come in and back a couple of times. Let's all try it. Left hand on the right edge of the mat. Outer edge of the left foot. Stack for side plank. And then you step the right foot behind you so that you're using the width of your yoga mat. Look down at your feet rather than trying to look anywhere else. The right knee stays bent the whole time, and it's the left leg that's changing. Bend the left leg a lot, but towards your heels, and then straighten, and do it twice more. Bend, and straighten, bend, and straighten. Nice, and then you take yourself just down to the knees, little child's pose, or just sit back on your heels, whatever is gonna be okay for you. Shake out the hands. Okay, so we have to use that same thought to get into the full wild thing pose. Let's go for it here. From downward facing dog, walk the right hand towards the left edge of your mat. You do the side plank, left hand up, and step the left foot behind you using the width of your mat. Bend both knees. This is where it changes. Instead of looking down at your feet, you're going to rotate the hips and the torso, twist and look up towards the sky. And then, as you straighten the right leg, reach the left arm way long overhead, like it's trying to reach towards the front short side of your mat. You're in a back bend. To come out of it, you just look back at your feet, bend both knees into that little squat, untwist yourself back to downward facing dog. Second side, walk the left hand, place it where the right hand was in dog pose. From the right edge of the mat, come to side plank, left hand, outer edge of the left foot, and then step the right foot behind you. So again, you're using the width of your mat. At first, you can look at your feet, bend both knees. And then even from that bent knee position, you start to rotate belly, torso, everything to look straight up towards the sky. But that would be too much on the shoulder. So we've got to straighten our legs to get that weight and pressure out of the shoulder. Straighten the left leg and push down on the right foot, right knee is bent. Stretch the right arm up and over. That long, full, big, expansive reach we did in side plank. And then from there, you just kind of crawl out of it and stretch to downward facing dog one more time. Walk the hands backwards to the feet. Ragdoll. Give a few big breaths out through the mouth. And then slowly roll on up, shoulders up and back a couple of times. And forward and down. Good. So a whole lot of classes I'll see wild thing come pretty easily from a flow of downward facing dog to three-legged dog, and then they'll say, flip the dog, right? You've probably taken a class or two like that if you've done any vinyasa. We're going to do that carefully within the bounds of our mat today. This is the last look at wild thing. Come on back to the front side of the mat. Gathering my breath a little bit. You do the same. Take the water breaks, all the things we need. Okay, let's put it all together. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. half lift. Step back to plank. Lower it down. Peel the chest up for cobra. And go to downward facing dog. Stick with me here. Do the right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. And pull your knee into the chest and hover forward. And then three-legged dog, up and back. Now, knee towards the left elbow. As you do that, shoot the leg under your arms. And walk the hands, right hand towards the left side of the mat. This is my flip. With the feet this wide, I'm just going to flip and turn the belly so it looks up to the sky and reach the left arm overhead. And then you do this big kind of like break dancer move to twist back. Walk the hands like typical. Right knee into the chest. And step forward into low lunge. Lift both arms, sweep up to the sky, high lunge. Lower the hands either side of the front foot. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Pick the chest up for cobra. Go to downward facing dog. Second side, lift the left leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Pull the knee into the chest, hover forward. Lift the leg up and back. So I like the flip to be sort of on the underside rather than the upside here. I think it just creates a little bit more awareness, holds for those pieces of the pie that we need to keep track of in the body. So now left knee towards the right elbow. You shoot the leg underneath, bend both knees, and this is your flip. You're turning the knees, the belly up, like a matrix move. And then you're matrixing back underneath you to pick the left knee back up and into the chest. And step it forward into your low lunge. We're here for high lunge. Lower the hands down, step it back. One more vinyasa flow down to the mat. Lift for cobra. This time, child's pose. Set the hips back to the heels. Okay, let's take our time to reorient. Sit down on your butt and in a straddle, so wide-legged position here. In your straddle, I like to sit with my butt at one edge of the mat, and then I've opened the feet so the heels are trying to reach towards the corners on the front end. So again, if we're trying to create a little bit of boundary or shape for these big poses, there's an option. Arms out in either direction. Try to sit really tall. Okay, engaging the abdomen, so think mid ribs, lower ribs, down towards the belly button towards the spine, and then reach the arms forward and take the torso forward. We're only going as far forward as we can sort of maintain strength and control. So a little bit forward, and then we'll pull straight back upright. That's it, a little bit forward, like you're dipping the bowl of the pelvis down and forward, and then back upright. And do it one more time. And can you hold that strength in the abdomen? It always feels like I'm like almost punching myself in the gut, that kind of like through the breath. And then take the hands wide. Flex the feet, toes point straight up to the sky. And is there any movement there for you? A little bit down, a little bit up. challenges some strength, some flexibility without going past your limit. Okay, and then this one should be different. Hands go down, and you give yourself a little bit more of a rest. So all that strength and control in the abdomen. Now the strength is to push out. Make the belly big. Take several big breaths here. Still toes, knees straight up to the sky. Only go as far over as works for you. Come back upright. Okay, we're going to hold the legs and pull together, and then lie down onto your belly. We're going for bow pose here. Be on your forearms, more like Sphinx to begin with. Press down through the forearms. Lift the shoulders, look straight ahead. I've been playing with bow from more of a lifted torso to begin with lately. Bend the right knee and take your right hand. I'm going thumb down on the outside of the foot. You can do the reverse though if that works better for you, and your shoulder would be thumb up on the big toe side. I think it's easier thumb down on the outside of the foot. Half bow, press into your left hand to lift even a little taller. Okay, and then we're going to try to add in the second side while still holding on to the right side. Bend the left knee. Now the torso is definitely going to have to go down. We've got to give a little bit away because you no longer have pressure in that left hand to rotate and reach the left hand back towards the left foot. But then once you get it there, try lifting the chest more upright again. Try being the key word. We simply do what we can, spread through the toes, press the feet themselves into the hands. Take in a couple more breaths. And then can you keep holding on to the left side and release the right side? Right hand, right foot, right leg, get to press into the ground. Find that half bow shape. Release all the way out. Back to your Sphinx on the forearms. Okay, and this is going to be half frog, Bakasana. Instead of the heel in bow pose trying to move away from the butt, this is all about trying to take the heel into the butt. So I'm going to take the left hand forearm across and actually just turn to lie on my left side. We did a lot of endless pose, I think, last month. It's like you're setting up-ish for that. But then kick your right heel, the top leg, heel towards the butt, and hold on to the foot like you did in bow pose just a moment before. And then you're going to lie back down towards the belly. Now for this pose to work, you do need to rotate so that your thumb is on that big toe side of your foot. Thumb up, big toe up. For a lot of us, this is probably a good stopping place. If you've got more space, more room, the hand, the fingers start to rotate down and the elbow up. Keep the heel in towards your outer sit bone. And as slowly, as carefully as possible, you release out. Go back to Sphinx. If you've got good, easy knees, hips, Good, easy, healthy. You don't have to do that whole movement to the side first. I just find it a lot more accessible to roll towards the right side, then heel to butt, hold on, and then try to keep holding on as you place the front of the left shin down to the mat, belly more down to the mat. Okay. Thumb goes to the big toe side again, so it's a flip in the shoulder. You stay there, or you try to twist, hand down, elbow up. Little pieces of the pie, and you slowly release there. Push back into child's pose. And then just turn over, like table pose. We're gonna sit on our butt, soles of the feet on the mat. This is actually one more look at Wild Thing pose, starting from the fully turned open body. So hands go behind you. And we'll just do table pose first. Push through your hands, through your feet. Lift your belly up. Couple of breaths. Tuck the chin. And then butt goes back down. Okay, left foot stays like it is. Take the right leg straight. Rotate slightly towards the left side. Turn the left hand like it is for side plank with the fingers facing forward. Okay. And then we got to press through the heel, press through the foot, get the butt back up. And reach the right arm long overhead. You're in Wild Thing. You can switch and make the other leg straight, the other knee bent. And then switch back. And sit back down to the mat. Cool. Right hand down. Turn it so the fingers face forward towards the front edge of your mat. At least it's my front. I'm going to bend the right knee, straighten the left leg. Press enough into the right foot that I can get some oomph. Body up. Lift the left arm towards the sky. If you bend both knees and then straighten the right leg. Lots of good strength going on there to switch. Side to side, stability in the shoulders. And then you bend both knees and you sit back down. Take both hands, again, behind your back. Fingers pointed out to the side, thumbs pointed towards our heels. And we've got one more table pose, lift. Lower, sit down to the mat. And then lie all the way down, pull the knees into the chest. Take the hands out to a T shape and lower both knees over to the right side. Easy supine twist here. If you want to add any extra pieces, a leg straight, feel free to. And take the knees up and over to the second direction. Take it back into your center. Happy baby. Nice release from the work today. And then any other last little bits of movement that would feel good to you, please welcome them here. From your last movement, unwind, fall into stillness. As always, you're welcome to find that still position, lying back or sitting upright. You are in your space, your time, so you're of course welcome to stay with that stillness for longer. But as you are ready, make your way back to a seated position of lying back. We'll close this time of active practice on our yoga mat so that we can move into the practice of the day. Through the sound of Om, sing along, listen, tune it out. Empty out the breath, take a deep breath in. Bow in gratitude to yourself, each other, and for this practice. Thank you. Namaste.